96.7 KCAL rocks. It is that time, and it's a big day, man.
Yeah.
Draft day in the NFL. It's time to talk to our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on, man?
Can't wait. Now, we'll get to the NBA playoffs in just a moment, but yes, it's the first round of the NFL draft tonight. Carolina is on the clock. We all expect them to take Bryce Young, the quarterback from Alabama, at number one with the number one pick. We should see several quarterbacks, I would think, go in the first round tonight. People love the quarterbacks. They love the offensive linemen, right, to protect the quarterback. So if your favorite NFL team is picking early, yes, you could change the future of the franchise, right? Or you could really mess it up too, Patrick. We've seen some big, teams fumble their pick and go with the wrong guy, and it messes up the organization for years.
You know, Frank Reich is kind of in charge here of that first pick, and they say he likes a big quarterback. So that's not Bryce Young.
No.
Obviously, he may be the most talented. We could be in for a left turn here.
Yeah, there's always a curveball, right, in the NFL draft, and that has a domino effect. If one team does something off the charts and people were not expecting it, then that has a ripple effect with all these other teams because they're like, oh, I didn't know so-and-so is still going to be available and on the board. So we'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see what teams can get it right and what teams will not get it right. But maybe the biggest news in the NFL going into the draft, and I thought this might happen during the draft, was Aaron Rodgers, former Packers quarterback, officially traded now to the New York Jets.
Wow, right? I mean, it's funny to see it happen again because we saw it. I mean, wasn't even Brett Favre the Madden cover that year? I mean, unbelievably following his footsteps.
Yes.
Nevertheless, now they're a contender.
Yeah.
I mean, the New York Jets, it feels weird, but it's truth. It's instantly they made the playoffs with basically no quarterback.
Yeah.
And now they're going to add Aaron Rodgers. Look out for the Jets. Wow.
I feel very similarly, like, remember last year when Russell Wilson went to the Broncos and everyone said, oh my gosh, Denver is a Super Bowl contender. They might beat Kansas City in the AFC West. I'm pumping my brakes a little bit because I feel the same way, like, hey, the Jets are built to win right now. They got their quarterback. It's Aaron Rodgers. I think they're going to be very, very good in the AFC. I'm like, I'm a little, as the kids would say, I'm a little sus. I'm a little suspicious about what the Jets are going to do this year.
I am a believer. I've actually always been a believer, only because I always remember seeing that number 8, which he's going to wear for the Jets, by the way, when he was at Cal. And I'll never forget seeing this team with Marshawn Lynch and Deshaun Jackson and this skinny kid, Aaron Rodgers, throwing bullets against us. I remember thinking, like, how is Cal not better? Because these guys are amazing. And I remember when he went to the Packers, everyone was like, oh, he's garbage. I was like, no way. This kid can throw. He picked us apart every time he came to Washington State. I know it's Washington State, but I am kind of a believer in Aaron Rodgers, and I think he's got motivation. You can see him. Yeah. He's on his best behavior. He's at the press conference. He's shaking hands. He's kissing babies. He's going to be there for some off-season workouts. What?
Yes. He's enlightened. Remember, he went into the darkness for 4 days. He came out a brand new man. He's enlightened. He's got a new outlook on life now. So
Green Bay got as much as they could possibly get out of Brett Favre and him. Congratulations. Yeah. Welcome to mediocrity.
Yes. Yeah, the Packers might not be the Packers again for a while. But we'll see. Maybe Jordan Love is the real deal. We're going to find out, though. We're going to find out. He is going to be QB1 in Green Bay, so we'll find out very, very soon. And Patrick, real quick, one last NFL note here. So with Aaron Rodgers going from Green Bay to the New York Jets, I saw this stat the other day. Can you name the longest tenured starting quarterback in the NFL right now? It was Aaron Rodgers. Do you know who is next on the list? The guy who's been the starter on his team the longest, currently active.
Boy, that is definitely a tough one because nothing comes to mind. I mean, maybe like Josh Allen or something like that. I don't know who it is.
Dak Prescott with the Dallas Cowboys. He's been the starter in Dallas since 2016. He's the longest tenured now that Aaron Rodgers is on the move.
Weird.
Isn't that? Yeah, it's super weird.
So weird.
I don't think of him as that old, but yeah, Dallas, man, Dak Prescott. All right, let's go to the NBA playoffs. We had another round of games last night. The Lakers falling to Memphis, but they're still up 3-2 in the playoff series, and it's going back to Los Angeles. I still feel like the Lakers will move on, but Memphis showing signs of life in this series. They are the number 2 seed. We knew they were going to put up a fight, and they got one last night.
Right. They didn't just roll over, even with all that's going on with that team. They did manage to kind of bow up and do one, but I think they do get finished off in this next game. I agree.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to go on the road and win in the playoffs, especially with the Lakers. The Lakers know they only need one more. One more, and they're going to land the knockout punch, and they're going to advance. So, and it's coming back to L.A. So I think they do advance. One team that is already out, their season is done, the L.A. Clippers, man. They fall in 5 games to the Phoenix Suns, 4-1. Kawhi Leonard missed the final 3 games of the series. Paul George did not even play. And it was Russell Westbrook trying to put the team on his back and get him through to the next round. It just was not enough, although he, I'm not a big Russell Westbrook fan, but he had a huge series. It was old Russell Westbrook, and it still wasn't enough.
It's all they had, man. Actually, Russ did what he could, and that's what happened. You know what I mean? They needed Kawhi. We know that. Yeah. And, of course, Paul George as well, but without Kawhi, it ain't happening.
And now the conversation is, there's a lot of chatter out there, is do you blow up the Clippers? I mean, can you really think that you're going to have a championship contender when Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, who are both very fragile, handle with care, can you go all the way to the finals with those guys as your star players? Like, unfortunately, you just can't count on them. I know Kawhi Leonard had the knee injury, and people are like, is he hurt or is he injured? Because if he's just hurting, he needs to play. This is why you pay him, to get you to the NBA Finals in the playoffs. And, he tried a couple games, and he was actually pretty good in a couple games. Then he had to shut it down. How do you rely on these guys to get you through a deep playoff run?
I bet Ballmer gives him one more year to see if they can get through the year healthy, and then he'll blow it up if the same thing happens.
Yeah, remember Lob City, man. Remember Blake Griffin, Chris Paul. I think J.J. Redick was on those teams. DeAndre Jordan. They were really good, and they had some really good seasons, but at one point, the Clippers finally had to say, okay, enough is enough. What's craziness, doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results? They're like, we got to do something different, and they blew it up. And it took them a couple of years to, piece it all back together, and here we are. They had a good team. They just can't stay healthy, and how do you rely on these guys when you can't count on them when you need them the most?
Yeah.
So, unfortunately for the Clippers, yeah, that's what it looks like. The defending NBA champions, it pains me to say this, but Golden State got Sacramento last night. So, it looks like if the defending champs, Golden State, advance, they would likely play the Lakers in the next round. That is an intriguing series, but I'm still holding out hope for my Sacramento Kings, but they are down 3-2 after losing a tough one last night.
Quite a battle going on in that one.
Yes, it is a real slobber knocker up there in Northern California between two heavyweights. They score a lot, not a lot of defense, but they score a lot of points. And finally, Patrick, some Dodger news here. This is kind of interesting. I heard this from someone else, and I connected the dots. So the Dodgers have had 4 different players on paternity leave this month, and Cody Bellinger also went on paternity leave, and he's with the Cubs now, of course, but he's a former Dodger. And someone said, if you do the math, and I'm not going to go into where babies come from right now, but if you do the math, it's like the Dodgers had a very busy All-Star break last year, and now they're reaping the rewards right about now with all these babies popping up. Congratulations to Mookie Betts and his wife. They just had a new baby boy yesterday. So there's a lot of Dodgers out of the lineup. I know they're already missing guys, but right now for a good reason, because they've got 4 different guys on paternity leave in this month. So if you connect the dots, you know what happened.
Your all-star babies right there from our all-star guy. Pep, tell them how to get your stuff when we talk on Monday.
Get my stuff on Inland Sports. We talk sports, not where babies come from. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and the Inland Sports YouTube channel.
Thanks, Pep.